by early Sunday morning as our skies begin to clear around the DMV. Here's your 7-day outlook. Shows temperatures tomorrow just around 60. Will be around 70 on Sunday. Upper 50s on Monday and still above average for this time of year come Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees.
All right, thanks, Steve. Happening tonight, 2020 detailing how a father's love for his son led to forgiveness in a murder-for-hire plot against his own family. We'll be talking with ABC's Elizabeth Vargas, who will have more on that coming up in just a few moments. Right now, though, let's talk about what's going on in Pyeongchang. We have an update on the Winter Olympics and the United States, a long shot at taking the medal count lead heading into the final days of the Winter Games. Alex Stone is in Pyeongchang with the latest.
On the ground here in South Korea, Ivanka Trump in the role of diplomat, having dinner with South Korean President Moon Jae-in before leading the U.S. delegation in the closing ceremony. Russia dominated the night in women's figure skating, winning gold and silver. The two skaters from Russia battling for the top spot with an almost identical score. Russia taking home its first gold of these games. The American women had their worst showing in modern-era Olympic history, finishing in 9th, 10th, and 11th places. Mirai Nagasu failed to get any lift on her triple axel, but she appeared to take the loss in stride, saying afterwards she was smiling during her performance because she was thinking of it as an audition for Dancing with the Stars. Nagasu remarked, quote, "I would like to be on Dancing with the Stars because I am a star." No medals today for Team USA, but our women have been leading the way, winning 5 gold medals in Pyeongchang. Michaela Schifrin taking gold and silver in alpine skiing events.
Hopefully I'm inspiring people, and hopefully I'm inspiring not just young girls back home too. The women have been performing very, very well, and that's so exciting to be a part of that.
The U.S. men's drought in speed skating continues as American Joey Mantilla just missed the podium, finishing in 4th place. Shawnee Davis finished in 7th. Alex Stone, ABC News, Pyeongchang.
Now happening tonight, 2020 detailing how a father's love for his son led to forgiveness in a murder-for-hire plot against his own family. In fact, just yesterday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott decided to spare the life of Bart Whitaker. The man behind the plot intended to kill his entire family and leave him just injured as a part of the cover-up. Joining us now is ABC's Elizabeth Vargas with a preview of tonight's 2020. And Elizabeth, it sounds like Greg Abbott stepped in the 11th hour here to commute that death sentence.
And after only the father in this case fought terribly hard for several years to spare his son's life, which is really a testament to a father's love in this case, because he's aware of the fact, obviously, that Bart tried to have him murdered himself. Bart had a seemingly idyllic life in this wonderful, loving family, and arranged to have a friend shoot and kill his mother, his father, and his brother. That man succeeded in killing the mother and brother and shot the father, but the father survived. It was a shock, obviously, to the father when he found out that his son Bart had been responsible for orchestrating this entire murder plot. It's inexplicable, and tonight we have prison interviews with the son, as well as last-minute interviews with the father in this case, who fought so terribly hard to spare his son's life after forgiving him for what many would consider to be the unforgivable.
And you said that you spoke with Kent Whitaker and that he's the one who fought to keep his son alive. How did he come to that intense amount of forgiveness?
You know, Kent is a man of faith. He believes strongly in the Bible, in God, and in forgiveness. But I think you can agree that, I mean, there are two things that are very striking here. Any of us who are parents can understand that love we have for our children, that no matter what you do, I will always love you. I think, you know, listen, Kent isn't saying Bart should be free. He understands what Bart did was absolutely horrific, but he just wanted Bart to be given life in prison as opposed to the death penalty. And in this case, it appears he has succeeded. I think in this case, perhaps Texas officials thought that Kent had lost so much already. He had lost his wife, he had lost his son, that rather than take his second son from him, they would punish him in a different way.
And without giving away too much, you know, everyone, like you just said, knew that he grew up with this idyllic life. So everybody's asking, why? Why did he want to murder his own family? Do we get into that tonight?
Yes, we do. We asked those questions to Bart himself in prison. Why on earth would you do this? And you'll hear his answers. And Listen, I think that, most people would think that anybody who kills, it's inexplicable. And certainly listening to Bart's explanation for why he did what he did leaves a lot of profoundly disturbing questions. But it's, it is very, very rare that we get an interview with somebody who has been convicted of these kinds of murders from prison, talking very openly about why he did what he did. He is very open about it, and you'll hear him tonight try and explain what is, to many still, the inexplicable.
Truly, it'll be very interesting to hear both sides of this horrendous incident. Elizabeth Vargas, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us from New York. Be sure to stick with us. We've got much more coming up here ahead at noon. First, though, here's a preview of what is coming up tonight at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm ABC 7's Jonathan Elias. When entering boot camp, young military recruits get stripped of